all the high ranks. I was like, wow, who the hell is this guy, man?
You often mention how you would use the practice sessions to get back at your seniors who would treat you badly when you were still a sumo apprentice. But I'm curious, when you ranked up and reached Sekitori, and so no one can actually bully you around anymore, did you still keep that mentality?
After making it to the rank, it made things easier for me to focus on where I want to go because I knew where I want to go. Just that I didn't have the authority to do that because I was a lower ranker. I had to fight my way to get up there, and that's where I thank all my senior sumo toris who picked on me because they motivated me, and they just made me very pissed off that I wanted to practice every day. So that's a great way to find motivation. So some people have to find a way to get fired up, but they made it naturally for me to get fired up. So once I got into the high rank, I knew what I could do, and then I knew financially what I was getting to send home. So I don't want to break that. I want to help my family more, and the motivation after getting to that point, all I needed was to think about my parents, and that's what my motivation to the day I retired. Even after retirement, I always think of what would make them proud, what would help them, and stuff like that, more than me. And that's what gave me happiness, is knowing that they were helped and they were happy with achievements I made.
Did you consider any wrestler at your time, your rival?
My training partner, he was a huge guy. He came from Mitoi Izumi. We're not rivals, but in practice, we practice so much with each other. I think he was more like a rival because we were always trying to challenge each other to be better. And the hard thing about having a rival, for me, is because you're wrestling these guys every damn tournament. And then you're sitting next to them on these buses, these 9 buses that we use to travel for going summer tours, winter tours. Like, it's hard to kind of really hate somebody.
Right.
But if you do, if you want to kill this guy so bad, it's one thing good about sumo. You don't show it. You don't say nothing about it. Everybody's very humble about the negativity of anybody, but you can see it when during practice. Like, there's a different power, strength that you put in that you want to a certain person. So you're trying to kill this guy. You know what I mean?
When you were younger, do you have any wrestlers that you looked up to?
Of course, Jesse Takamiyama, who actually helped me join sumo, and he was the only foreigner at the time that opened up the doors for all of us, that came after. And then I think Mitoi Izumi, not Mitoi Izumi, but Chiyono Fuji was somebody that I really looked up to. He was in our family stable. So when I first joined sumo, and he first came to the stable to practice with all the high ranks, I was like, wow, who the hell is this guy, man? He's not big. He's not as big as everyone. He's muscular, but he's so fast and he's so strong, and his technique is so great. Like, man, he is throwing all this 500 pounders around like nothing,
Who helped you shape your sumo style, and what influenced you to develop your brand of sumo? Because it's quite unique, actually. It's with very hard-hitting thrusts, really really powerful pushes.
Well, the thing is, my technique was taught by my boss, my sumo oyagata, his Takasago oyagata. He was a grand champion himself. His sumo name was Asashio Taro. And he's an islander too, because he's from an island right off Okinawa, a place called Tokunoshima. So recently I've been visiting his island to go in and pay respect to. He has a statue on his island, he actually told me that you cannot wrestle with the Japanese guys because you cannot go to the belts, and because they would just throw your ass all over the place because of the technique wise, it's so different. And they were more flexible at the time. With their technique as kids. So my pushing technique came from him. And because I was a very strong person already, if I knew how to use my hands, it's a spotty technique, they call it. it's the best technique if you can get it down to win, but it's the worst technique you can easily lose. It's like black and white, man. You're either going to go black or you're going to go white, you know. And that's why you have to be so almost perfect in everything you do from the beginning, because when you're wrestling with the very top sumo tories in the top division, they all can handle a hit, and they're all very good with timing and from how they stay at leverage, and they know how to take advantage. They know how to counter stuff like that. So I had to be very perfect with my tachi-ai, the way I hit and where I follow up with my feet and my hands. So it was a hard technique to learn, but I loved it because it kind of fit my body.
That's what made you known as an Oshi sumo specialist, right?
That's why they hated me. That's why.
Yeah.
I was like throwing guys off the ring every time I look at my sumo those days and they're watching the videos like that. No wonder people hated me at the time.
Rikishi's fighting styles nowadays actually lean more toward judo style grappling more than it was in your time. What's your opinion on the current fighting styles of the wrestlers today?
The aggressiveness they lack aggressiveness. Like it's not as, they're not like the boos. We were like boos, man, attacking each other. And then the first contact was so important in our sumo in my days. Right now, it's like they try to find a way to get to the belt as soon as they hit, or as soon as they touch eye, get off. But our time, the contact is so important, because for me, my contact will help me get to my next moves. You know, even when you go into a judo hold, if you can contact with a hit first and push back, it makes it easier for a guy with a hold to throw anybody. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest difference. You know, I don't know, guys. It's like, I hate to say it, but they say that in basketball and other sports too. It feels like it went soft.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know, like in basketball, when we was with Shaq and all those big centers was like part of the game. You know, they were stacked down close in the key, and they would get the balls, and they were like dunk, or they do hooks, and now everybody shoots from a mile away, so there's no defense. Like, you know, everybody's Curry now. You know.
Even though saying that maybe, you know, the fighting styles do nowadays, you know, are much softer than at your time. Is there still a wrestler who came after you, after your retirement, is what I say, like whose fighting style you particularly like?
There's a few. When I retired, I still has a bunch of great sumo guys, Kaio, and then you had Musoyama, you had Chio Taikai and Takatoriki, and those guys are just one generation after my generation. That's why. And guys that I wrestled with who still wrestling when I left were like Kotonishiki, and that group of guys was like real unique, and they had their own styles. And that's the difference about my generation and new generation now. Everybody had a certain technique that they stick to. So what I'm trying to say is now you see these guys, they do all different kind of sumo. Every guy.
There's not really one thing with them.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
So in sumo we call it a kata. Kata means your strong move. And everybody went to the strongest move. If it's tucking your right hand in and pushing your guy out, that's what you would fight to get to. That's why it's so important when you get touchy eye. When you hit the first contact, it's so important to you to get to your kata, to where you want to get. You have to hit first,
right?
And then find your way in your position, your stronger position. And actually, those days the matches was actually fight. They were fighting to not put each other in their positions. So that's why it made it so unique, because everybody was not trying to win, just win. Everybody was trying to win their own style. Like if I won and then I hit and then I pull the guy down, I feel like shit because
It wasn't your style.
Yeah. It's like I kind of cheated on myself,
Oh, I see.
I think that's the difference, because everybody you want to win, like win your way. Then you feel real good because you 100%, you did exactly what you do training, and it worked,